Hi, just pause for a moment. Do you know the O-RADS? Or we just do gynecological ultrasound scans without knowing the O-RADS? Let's talk. So, in this presentation, we are going to talk about O-RADS, ultrasound risk stratification. This is a step-by-step practical guide. So the objectives of this presentation, at the end of this lecture, you should be able to understand why O-RADS were developed, apply the O-RADS lexicon correctly, classify every ovarian lesion step by step. We should be able to estimate the risk of malignancy, recommend the appropriate management, and avoid common diagnostic pitfalls. So now, what is O-RADS? What is O-RADS? So O-RADS, or Ovarian Adnexal Reporting and Data System, that is what it stands for. Ovarian Adnexal Reporting and Data Systems. It was developed by the American College of Radiology. So what is its purpose? Standardized ultrasound reporting of ovarian and adnexal masses. So the goals is to reduce ambiguity, improve communication, guide management, reduce unnecessary surgery, and to detect ovarian cancer early. So why was O-RADS needed? Why was it needed in the first place? So the problems before O-RADS, what are they? Different radiologists describe the same lesion differently. Examples: complex cyst, cystic lesion, suspicious cyst, probably benign. These terms mean different things to different clinicians. So O-RADS now provides standard terminology, standard risk estimates, and standard management. So the O-RADS categories. Category, then the estimated malignant risk, and then the interpretation. So the O-RADS 0 is incomplete. Then the study needs to be repeated. O-RADS class 1 is normal ovary, so interpretation is normal. O-RADS class 2, less than 1% of malignancy risk, almost certainly benign. Then O-RADS class 3, 1 to less than 10% risk assessment, then low risk. O-RADS class 4, 10 to 50% intermediate risk. Then O-RADS 5, greater than or equal to 50%. So this is the higher risk of malignance. So there's a higher risk of malignance. So this is the category, the O-RADS categories. So this is different from aorta classification that we're talking about. So step 1, is there an adnexal lesion? That's the first question when you're doing an ultrasound. Is there an adnexal lesion? So always determine, is the lesion ovarian, tubal, para-ovarian, uterine, or is within the bowels? Misidentification is a major cause of errors. So now, step number 2, is it classical benign? Classic benign lesions include a hemorrhagic cyst, a dermoid cyst, endometrioma, hydrosalpinx, peritoneal inclusion cyst. These have characteristic appearances. Those are classical benign lesions. Hemorrhagic cyst, dermoid cyst, endometrioma, hydrosalpinx, peritoneal inclusion cyst. These have got characteristic features. So now, the hemorrhagic cyst, this is a hemorrhagic cyst there. So the typical features of hemorrhagic cyst: reticular lace-like pattern, the one that you're seeing there, the reticular pattern, fine fibrin strands, then retracted clot, so you can see a retracted clot there. No vascular inside clot, so there's no perfusion on Doppler there, there's no perfusion on Doppler. Usually resolves within 6 to 12 weeks. Usually these are O-RADS class 2, the hemorrhagic cyst. O-RADS class what? 2. So now, the dermoid cyst, which is the mature cystic teratoma. So typical signs, tip of the iceberg signs, the tip of the iceberg sign there, we've got a lesion, and then we've got the posterior acoustic shadows there. Then the dermoid mesh. So any other material that you see here around the dermoid cyst plug there or the ruging task nodule is now what is called the dermoid mesh. Then here inside the calcifications, then fatty fluid levels, you can see them there. Then usually this is also O-RADS class 2. So the endometrioma, the chocolate cyst there you can see here. Features, it has got the ground glass appearance, internal echoes, is homogeneous, low level echoes, minimally vascularity, it has got a minimum vascularity on Doppler, then smooth walls, so the walls are smooth. If atypical, further assessment is required. If it is atypical, if you see features that can be suggestive of malignancy, then further assessment will then be required. Then, step 3 is the lesion cystic or solid. Simple cyst, is it unilocular? No solid tissue, no papillae, no septations, complex cyst, septations. So it's a solid tissue, papillary projections, mixed echogenicity, solid lesion, mostly soft tissue, often vascular or higher malignant risk. So now, step 4, you're supposed to evaluate the internal architecture. You can see here the reticular pattern, you can see here the ground glass appearance, there's some solid components there, the papillary projections there. Assess number of locules, the septations, papillary projections, the solid tissue, wall thickness, or the irregularity. So that's the step 4. You have to assess all those when you're looking at an ovarian mass. So now, the papillary projections define solid projection greater than or equal to 3 millimeters arising from the cyst wall. Important, increased number of papillae increase the risk of malignancy. So the higher the number of the papillary projections, the higher the chance of malignancy. So now the Doppler evaluation. Color score, score 1, there's no flow. Score 2, minimum flow. Score 3, there's moderate flow. Score 4, there's very strong flow. More vascular lesions are more suspicious. So the higher the score, the higher the tendency for malignancy. So you can see there's internal vascularity there. So the higher the score, the higher the chances of malignancy. So let's talk about the O-RADS class decision tree. So the O-RADS class, this is the tree there. So if you see an adnexal lesion, the classical sign, benign. If yes, O-RADS class 2. If no, is it a simple cyst? Is it a complex cyst? Is it a solid cyst? Then evaluate Doppler, then assign the O-RADS. So that is the O-RADS decision tree. That's the decision that you must have. So when you're doing this ultrasound, you must be thinking along the line of that tree to say, is there an adnexal mass? What is the classical sign of the mass? Is it benign or it's not benign? O-RADS class 2, if there's a classical benign sign. If no, is it a simple cyst? Is it a complex cyst? Is it a solid mass? Is it does it have internal vascularity or no? Then you assign the O-RADS class. So O-RADS class 2, examples, the functional cyst, the corpus luteum, the hemorrhagic cyst, the dermoid cyst, the hydrosalpinx, endometrioma, the risk of O-RADS class 2 lesions less than 1%, management, routine follow-up if indicated. So these are just benign lesions. Then they got less than 1% risk, and then they need follow-up if recommended. So O-RADS class 3, low risk lesions, usually smooth, minimum vascularity, few suspicious features. The risk is 1 to 10%. Management, that is gynecological reference, gynecological referral. So those are O-RADS class 3 lesions. So now O-RADS class 4 features solid tissue, papillary projections, moderate Doppler flow, irregular septa, intermediate suspicion, risk 10 to less than 50%, management, expert ultrasound, MRI selected cases, gynecological oncology consideration is recommended. So O-RADS class 5, O-RADS class 5, typical findings: irregular solid mass, numerous papillary projections, marked vascularity, ascites. So the peritoneal nodules risk is above or equal to 50%. The management of O-RADS class 5 lesions is urgent referral to in oncology, gynecology, oncology department for further management. You can see there are solid lesions there with increased grade score for internal vascularity there. So, O-RADS management, category management. Category 0, repeat ultrasound. Category 1 is a normal one. 2, follow up if necessary. 3, gynecology referral. 4, specialist assessment. 5, gynecologic oncologist. So, this is how the O-RADS different classes are managed. Class 0, repeat ultrasound. 1, normal. 2, follow up if necessary. 3, gynecologist. 4, specialist assessment. 5, gynecologic oncologist. So now, what are the common pitfalls when classifying or when you are doing the gynecological lesions on ultrasound? Mistaking peduncular fibroids for ovarian masses. 2, ignoring Doppler findings. Calling every complex cystic mass malignant. Misidentifying hemorrhagic cyst. Overcalling endometriomas. Missing papillary projections. These are the common pitfalls. They are almost the same as the one that I was discussing on iota classifications. So, mistaking peduncular fibroids for ovarian masses, ignoring Doppler findings, calling every complex cystic mass malignant, misidentifying hemorrhagic cyst, overcalling endometriomas, or missing papillary projections. So now, the practical reporting templates will give the patient details, the technique, laterality, size, the morphology, the wall of the lesion, the septations, the papillary projections if there are any, the solid components, the color score, ascites, final O-RADS category after, then you give the recommendation. So this is the template for O-RADS classification. This is the template. So now, let's do this case 1. Findings. So you can see this is the findings on the cyst there. Findings: 5 centimeter, the simple cyst, thin walls, no flow. So diagnosis is O-RADS class 2. O-RADS class 2. Then case 2, you see here there is this solid internal projections there. You've got the solid components there. Findings: multilocular, 2 papillary projections, moderate flow. Diagnosis: O-RADS class what? Class 4. O-RADS class what? 4. So you can see what is happening there. Findings: multilocular, 2 papillary projections, moderate flow. Diagnosis: O-RADS class what? Class 4. Case 3, you can see what is happening here. This is the lesion in the ovary there. You can see the solid mass. You can see here the solid component with increased vascularity score 4. So findings: solid, irregular, marked vascularity, ascites. Then diagnosis: O-RADS class 5. Okay, so now we have come to the end of this lecture, ladies and gentlemen, on O-RADS classification. I hope it's making sense. So here are your key take-home messages. Use standardized O-RADS terminology. Begin by determining whether the lesion is ovarian or extra-ovarian. Recognize classic benign lesions before searching for malignant features. Assess morphology systematically: cystic versus solid, locularity, septations, papillary projections, and solid components. Incorporate color Doppler using the O-RADS color score. Combine morphology and Doppler findings to assign the correct O-RADS category. Ensure the management recommendation matches the O-RADS risk category. So this is the Bible. So this is what you have got to follow, guys, when you are classifying ovarian masses using the O-RADS classification. This is very fundamental and key. And also when you're doing the reporting, your report must be standardized in America, in Romania, in Sudan, wherever. So if you use the same language, we resonate well and we understand each other. So let us not use the vague wording when we are doing the reporting. Thank you so much. Don't forget to share and like and leave your comments if you've got any questions. Thank you.